Tonight on News 5 Live, woman may have set Belize City fire. Superbond proposal gaining interest. UDP leadership continues to fracture. And despite COVID-19, St. George's Key Day spirit lives. Details of these stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
It's a fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime. While with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
The Social Security Board, in collaboration with the Labor Department, takes this opportunity to remind insured persons of the requirements for compensation when on sick leave. Any employee who has worked with an employer for at least 2 months is entitled to 16 working days of sick leave with full pay every year. This is how it works. Upon approval of a sickness or injury benefit claim by SSB, 80% of the employee's weekly insurable earnings is paid as a Social Security benefit, and the difference in the employee's salary is paid by the employer. This is to ensure that the employee does not suffer any loss of wages when ill. After 16 days, compensation for sick leave is paid as a Social Security benefit only. Some conditions apply. This message is brought to you by the Social Security Board and the Labor Department. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
No more stress, no more long lines, no more confusion, no more long, complicated forms. That's because the Belize Tax Services Department is going digital. The launch of Iris Belize will bring ease and efficiency to our tax management. Iris Belize has a user-friendly online portal that allows you to file your returns and make payments online, view your full account history, access customer service, track your refunds, and much more. Iris Belize, Integrated Revenue Information System, coming soon.
This Monday on Get the Facts, they spend countless number of days and nights treating patients who have contracted COVID-19. Now, Dr. Fernando Cuellar and Dr. Atanasio Cobb share their experiences of having contracted this dreadful disease. This show starts at 7:30 p.m. on Monday, September 13th. Catch it live on Channel 5 or stream it on Facebook and YouTube. Send your questions to 672-5555 or via Facebook using the hashtag #GetTheFacts.
And welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, September 13th. I am Sabrina Daly. 6 families, including 6 children and a pregnant woman, are displaced after a fire swept through their yard and destroyed their homes in Belize City. It happened on the evening of September 10th, when most people were observing a scaled-back Battle of St. George's Key Day holiday. As Marian Ali found out, the fire started soon after a dispute had occurred between 2 women, one of whom lived at the address. Now police are looking for the female suspect.
Life has not been the same since Friday for the families who lived in 6 apartment units at number 11 corner Sibun and Nargashta streets in Belize City. Their small wooden houses were gutted sometime around 6:30 that evening. They saved absolutely nothing as they fled for safety.
I'm the watch TV with my wife. I'm the watch TV.
Oh no, I'm the watch TV.
When the watch TV suddenly I see the signal gone.
Signal gone?
Signal gone, I said. But something happened, I tell my wife, things probably don't sacrifice already. And we got like nothing.
The house is an old house and it burned real fast.
Yeah.
I said the fire, you know, the fire engulfed everything real quick. So the person was to get my girlfriend and the kids out.
Fire officials have concluded that the blaze was a result of mischievous act.
We narrowed it down based on observation, investigation, and information received that the fire started from one of the tenants' room, 23-year-old Miss Shanice Reyes. Miss Reyes wasn't at home. She had left, secured her apartment with a locking mechanism. However, when the fire was observed, it was also observed that her door was open. Presumably it was forced open, and shortly after the fire started. We were fortunate enough to spoke with Ms. Reyes, who stated that she believed the fire could have been maliciously set.
Shanice Reyes told News 5 that she had just gone up the street to her relative's place when someone alerted her of the blaze. Reyes says she suspects that an old dispute with a former friend and work colleague led to the incident.
Well, I remember the Thursday, me and this young lady make an altercation. Well, they bring police. When they bring the police, she said that she want everything done well. I said, okay, then I done. When I look, the same evening I meet these 2, the individual, me and she may have thing, and her brother, the brother me the red and she the walk, but another thing, no, we said us walk.
Well, close to your house?
Yes, walk past, and echo walk, yeah.
Fire officials have not found anything to suggest that a flammable fluid was used to ignite the blaze. But station supervisor with the National Fire Service, Kenneth Murtis, told us that even cloth could have been used. He also thought that the intent may not have been something this serious.
It's possible that their intent was not to create such a catastrophic chain of events. Unfortunately, these buildings that once sat in this yard, they are, in local terms, they are very ripe.
Presently, we are seeking one of the person that is being mentioned to see what kind of assistance we can get from that person and exactly try to establish the motive behind the fire. No?
While authorities are looking for one woman pending questioning, the fire victims told News 5 that help came swiftly for them.
They get our house rent. We're in our rent right now. We had to pay rent for 2 months. Human Development and NEMO.
I just stay one of my neighbor or a family member, and then other people. Yes, ma'am. Other people gone and their family members as well.
Okay. Has anybody promised you assistance?
Well, the minister, Mr. Mala, me come by and he tell me I come see me today, and Human Development and NEMO try to give me the assistance too.
Minister of Tourism, Anthony Mahler, who is the area representative for Pickstock where the families lived, told News 5 today that all 6 families are and will continue to receive assistance to help them back on their feet. The minister is also assisting the fire victims of last week's Mahogany Street blaze. Reporting for News 5, Marian Ali.
An elderly woman lost her life in Corozal town on Sunday morning as she rode her bicycle and was hit by a car. 68-year-old Julia Gongora was rushed to the hospital. She succumbed to her injuries shortly after. According to police, the driver of the vehicle will be charged.
At 6:50 a.m., police visited an area between Tor Street and 7th Avenue in the Corozal town, where they observed a female who was being placed inside of an ambulance, and she was taken to the Corozal Community Hospital, where she passed away at sometime about 10 in the morning. What police know so far is that the deceased is Julia Hilda Maria Gongora, 68 years, was riding her bicycle from a north to south direction when a vehicle being driven at the time by one Mr. Kumar, 40 years, was driving on Tor Street South, heading towards College Road. When upon reaching in that intersection, he knocked down Ms. Gongora, causing her to fall to the divider, where she had received injuries to her body. So far, Mr. Kumar is in police custody and is awaiting for charges to be levied against him.
Did he flee the scene?
No, he did not.
Pankaj Kumar, a sales clerk of Altamira Corozal, has been charged for one count of causing death by careless conduct. A pair of men socializing at the intersections of Iguana and Elston Kerr Streets on Thursday night came under gunfire following an altercation with an unnamed individual sometime earlier. Investigators believe that the shooting incident that injured Charles Hines Jr. and Sheldon Sosa was precipitated by a previous encounter, which resulted in the suspect firing multiple shots in their direction. While Sosa has been treated and released from the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital, Hines remains admitted to ward, where he is receiving medical attention. According to Superintendent Alejandro Cowo, the armed assault happened shortly before 8 p.m.
Just after 7 p.m., police visited the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital, where they observed Mr. Charles Hines Jr., 39 years, and Mr. Sheldon Sosa, 32 years, both of them suffering from apparent gunshot wounds to the body. Mr. Sosa was treated and he was discharged on the same night. Meanwhile, Mr. Hines is still admitted up to this time in a stable condition. What we have gathered so far is that both of them, along with others, were at the corner of Elston Kerr Street and Iguana Street socializing, when they were approached by someone who came out from a nearby yard and fired several shots at their direction, causing the injuries to them.
What would you say is behind this incident? Is it gang related? Is it perhaps some other altercation that may have happened prior to that?
Based on the investigation and interviews that we have conducted, it has given us an indication that it was due to an apparent misunderstanding between the suspected shooter and one of the victims who was injured.
The Association of Protected Areas Management Organization has issued a release questioning why only some of the men arrested during an illegal logging operation have been charged. APAMO says that on May 12th, rangers of the Mayflower Bokawina National Park came across a major illegal logging operation run by a group of men within the National Park and City Forest Reserve. They say 40 trees had already been felled at the site and were being prepared for extraction. The men were arrested and charged for the crime. However, the logs were reportedly not removed. During a joint operation with police on September 7th, 6 men, including a 17-year-old minor, a police corporal, and a former Forest Department employee, were caught transporting mahogany logs within the national park. All 6 men were apprehended, but according to to Apamo, only 3 were charged and taken to court, where guilty pleas were heard. Apamo says it is baffled as to why only 3 men were charged, when evidence is that all 6 men were seen loading the logs onto the trailer and caught in possession of the logs. The association says neither the Forest Department nor the Belize Police Department contacted them to give a progress report or information regarding the charges being leveled. The release notes that the problem can only be addressed if there is a, quote, commitment throughout the process from field surveillance to apprehension and proper prosecution, unquote. Coming up, we will have the latest on climbing cases of COVID-19 after the break.
I'm the wonder if by chance I could get your number. Digit. Nice.
Of course. You have digital, right?
Yeah. Of course.
The truth is, your credit lasts way longer with Digi. Like if you top up with like $30, that could last you 90 days. With the other guys, that must save 60. Then with the other guys, you have to use all of your good prime credit before you even touch your bonus credit. But with Digi, you could use your bonus credit before you even touch your prime credit. Like, what are the point to have free credit if you can't use it how you want? So, what are your number?
Just give me one moment.
The truth is, only Digi offers nationwide LTE coverage, fastest mobile data speeds, and the best call quality.
As Belize continues to shield its people from the worst ravages of this pandemic, we must continue to keep our country safe by ensuring reliable supply chains for critical components for the fight ahead. Belize's oxygen supply is safe with 300% more oxygen supply in country than is necessary. However, Fabregas continues to make our oxygen supply chain even more robust and responsive to a potential worst-case scenario. Through supply arrangements established and secured by Fabregas, our country can receive critical life-saving oxygen from 5 regional neighbors in Mexico and Central America through marine and/or land transportation. So, in addition, Fabregas has secured additional reliable sources of life-saving oxygen using a diversity of transportation modes and countries of origin. Fabregas Belize Limited. We got your back.
The Statistical Institute of Belize is responsible for conducting the National Population and Housing Census every 10 years. While the next one is scheduled for 2022, the Statistical Institute of Belize is already recruiting to fill positions for interviewers, field supervisors, drivers, editor coders, administrative assistants, and IT technicians. These temporary positions for the 2022 census offer competitive wages that are paid weekly. Join the 2022 census team. Applying online is easy. Visit our website at sib.org.bz/census recruitment and click apply. The Statistical Institute of Belize, providing Belize with quality, objective, and timely information.
If you really want to experience Belize, come down south, let's go to Mayan World. So many things to do, to a destination of Belize, we are Mayan World. ATV trails to horseback riding. If you want to get wet for river tubing, the highest and the best views when it comes to zip lining. If you only want to walk, the hiking follow us on our Facebook page, Mayan World Destinations, and our Instagram page, Mayan World Belize. Book your tours today.
When I hear that drum, 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 I get up off my seat when I hear that drum.
It's the 2021 Sir Barry's Pelican Digital Bash, giving back through music. Starting on Thursday, September 16th, with a mashup by Denise Castillo, Kylon Ely, and J-Cast, backed up by the Center Stage Band. Then, the 2021 Pelican DJ Champ, DJ Mamba, and to headline night one, Marilyn Vanson. Friday, September 17th, we kick off night 2 with the Gil Harris 7 Band, followed by the Raven Sensation, Night Quest, and backed by popular demands, Sweet Pain 3.0. On Saturday, September 18th, we're closing out the bash with a bang, Super Fura Band, followed by Evolution Sounds, and yes, he is back, the General Super G. Catch the action on our Pelican Facebook page, YouTube, and your favorite television station each night, starting at 8 p.m. It's the 2021 Sir Barry's Pelican Digital Bash, giving back through music.
When I hear that drum, I get up off my seat when I hear that drum.
That'll be $50. Wait, hey, this 50 is a fake.
How do you know it's a fake?
What are you talking about, sir? How can I identify a genuine note from a fake note?
Well, a genuine 50 has a watermark with the Jaguar and the written words of the 50, also a thread.
Know your money and know a fake one when you see it. Do not rely on any one security feature. Look for the clarity and quality of printing. The printed lines and colors should be sharp and clear. Feel the quality of the paper and the raised print. Hold the note up to the light to see the windowed security thread. It should form one complete line when held up to the light. The watermark and denominational electrotype. The Jaguar is the watermark in the $100 and $50 notes. The Sleeping Giant is the watermark in the $20, $10, $5, and $2 notes. The see-through feature. The parts of the design printed on the back should fit exactly within the unprinted areas of the front to form the complete design. Check the $100 note for the toucan hologram with the periwinkle flower overprint. Tilt it to see the small images of the toucan and the numeral 100. Check the $50 note for the green foil angelfish. Check even closer. Use an ultraviolet light to see the fluorescent features. Use a magnifier to see the microlettering. Tiny letters that read Central Bank of Belize and the value of the note. Stop the circulation of counterfeit Belize currency notes. Pass all counterfeits to the police at once. It is a criminal offense to hold or use a counterfeit. Be safe. Be sure. Know your money.
Today, the government announced that Belize has officially commenced an offer to buy back the super bond and the solicitation of consents from bondholders. Through the arrangement, Belize is proposing to finance the purchase of the bonds through funding via the Nature Conservancy. TNC uses private capital to refinance public debt in support of marine conservation efforts and eco-friendly, sustainable marine-based activity. As a part of this, Belize will fund a $23.4 million marine conservation trust that would help protect the coral reef, which has seen significant damage in the past. Under the proposed deal, eligible holders who tender their bonds will receive 55 cents for every dollar in outstanding principal. The U.S. $526.5 million bond becomes due in 2034. Even before the official presentation on Friday, two bondholders expressed interest. They are Vontabell, an investment firm that holds about 10%, and Candriam, which holds 2.2% of the bonds. Belize needs to have 75% of the bondholders to agree to the offer. The number of deaths associated with the COVID-19 pandemic continues to rise. The data for the extended weekend has been tallied by the epidemiological unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and there were 9 additional deaths recorded. That's right, 9. So far, 382 persons have died from COVID-19 in Belize. While there were 335 recovered patients, there were 362 new cases identified, bringing the total number of active cases to 1,377. There are 9 active hospitalizations and 9 critical patients in ICU. The data collected are showing that the national daily positive cases have exceeded the highest number recorded in January of this year. And there is word that the country should be on high alert for community spread, since there are multiple variants in Belize. GOB continues to put in place measures to fight against the deadly virus. Minister of Education and Culture, Francis Fonseca, reiterated the need for Belizeans to remain vigilant and support each other in this fight.
Today we honor them and pray God's blessings on their families. Today we also pay tribute to all those Belizeans who are on the front line of our nation's fight against COVID, particularly our doctors, our nurses, healthcare workers, police officers, and border security personnel. The battle we face today is that of protecting the health and safety of our people, while at the same time gradually and responsibly reopening the Belizean economy, returning to the classroom, and re-engaging with our families, friends, and communities for social activities. Vaccinations represent our best hope and opportunity for achieving these objectives. The more Belizeans that are vaccinated, the greater the likelihood of us resuming some elements of our pre-COVID way of life.
Point of correction, there are 40 active hospitalizations and 9 patients in the ICU. During his speech at the celebration of the anniversary of the Battle of St. George's Key Day, Belize City Mayor Bernard Wagner spoke of the disruptiveness of the COVID-19 pandemic, having himself been a victim. Mayor Wagner says that this year's theme is a call to action, a chant to guide the country through the pandemic.
We are now 2 years into this unprecedented global health crisis, as if the direct threat to life and our well-being was not distressing enough. This health crisis has positioned itself as a cornerstone of a perfect storm. Simultaneously with this virus that has invaded even my home for a moment, we're experiencing a crippling global economic crisis, which is being felt brutally right here in our 501 in every home. People continue to lose jobs faster than aid can be mobilized. Those previously unemployed are now more isolated than ever. The unschooled, the old, the medically at risk are all exposed like never before. And businesses, small and big, are dancing on erratic tectonic plates. One sudden shake away from closure. But we can and we will overcome.
Opposition leader Shine Barrow, on behalf of the United Democratic Party's Parliamentary Caucus and Standard Bearers Group, has come out against mandatory COVID vaccinations. This follows the announcement on Thursday by the Minister of Health and Wellness, Michelle Shabat, that beginning October 1st, vaccination cards will have to be presented for entrance into all public buildings. Government later issued a release informing that consultations would also be held with the business community, where that initiative is concerned. In a written statement, Shine Barrow reiterated what he terms the party's pro-choice stance on COVID jabs and encourages free testing for persons who choose not to get vaccinated and free ID cards for persons who have gotten their shots. Barrow says that the unions, as well as the churches, the business community, and non-governmental organizations should also have a seat at the table where decision-making is concerned. Is there a return to his former office as leader of the opposition in the days leading up to September 21st? It's a question being asked in the wake of reports suggesting that Collet Area Representative Patrick Faber has been endorsed once again by fellow parliamentarian and former Deputy Prime Minister Hugo Pat. Faber, who was removed as leader of the opposition a few months ago, appeared in the media recently. During his appearance, Faber stated that the Corozal North Area Representative was undecided on whether he should lend support to his leadership in the House of Representatives. Since Faber's removal, Mesopotamia Area Representative Shine Barrow has replaced him as leader of the opposition. With the 40th anniversary of Belize's independence less than 8 days away, all eyes are on the United Democratic Party, which remains in a state of turmoil. While Barrow is now the parliamentary leader, Faber is the head of the UDP. The Independence Day addresses, however, will be delivered by the leader of the opposition and Prime Minister John Briceño, respectively. In responding to our query earlier today, Chairman Michael Perifete stated via text message that he has no knowledge of the so-called change in parliamentary leadership. Subsequently, Barrow issued a formal release on an unrelated matter, using the letterhead of the office of the leader of the opposition. After the break, the spirit of September 10th continues. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
My name is Sandra Johnson. I've been living in Belize, mostly on the Placencia Peninsula, for over 27 years. I love being an agent, and I love working for RF&G. If there's anything that I feel as an agent I'm struggling with or have questions about, the head office team is right there to help. It makes me proud to be an RF&G agent because of the credibility that RF&G has.
I am your neighbor. I am your friend. I am your RF&G agent.
Find your nearest RF&G agent on our website at rfginsurancepolice.com, where it pays to get it right.
March 2020. I was feeling really sick, so I've been to visit my doctors. What they found is they found a tumour where I work, and my husband also had visited Galania before, so for me it was an obvious choice. I've met with Olivia and her team. Like I say, they all speak great English, and they took me for the appointment with the specialist. The doctor there also spoke great English, and then they booked me in for the operation that afternoon. They had the pathologist come into the operating theatre, and then of course they took it away and they did the pathology as well, and it was actually a benign tumour, which I was very grateful to hear. You know, they did take really good care of me during that time. I mean, we think about doctors and nurses, you know, they speak great English, they're kind to you, you know, they're attentive, they try and solve problems for you, help you out with the medications. It's also closer to us, it's less hassle to get to Cancun, and of course, you know, the people coming with you, they can have a little bit of a break while you get better.
I saw the impacts of COVID-19. And I don't want to experience that again. That is why I took proactive steps to protect myself, my family, my fellow co-workers, visitors, and tourists.
I love seeing my guests happy, and my job is to give them a safe tour. By getting vaccinated, I achieve both these things.
By being vaccinated, I am doing my part to help.
Together, we can build our tourism industry by getting vaccinated. We encourage all tourism workers to get vaccinated so that tourists can continue to choose Belize as their destination of choice. The recovery of our tourism industry depends on you. Get vaxxed.
Improving lives, delivering quality. Water for you and me. In Belize, BWS, we make it happen.
At Belize Water Services, we continue delivering on our promise of improving the lives of you, our valued customers. We have all been adversely affected by COVID-19 in many ways. BWS has ensured that we have been there for you during these difficult and challenging times by adjusting our processes and our way of doing business to ensure the safety of our customers as well as our staff. BWS enhanced our virtual and distance options to continue to serve you while reducing risk. Customers have been able to contact us through our toll-free numbers, via email, and using our newly introduced WhatsApp numbers for messaging. We have also continued to encourage customers to make payments online. These measures are all designed to improve the safety of customers. During these tough times, BWS also continued to invest in infrastructure expansion and improvements. At the same time, we have continued to provide high-quality, safe, potable water services to ensure the continued health and safety of all our consumers. Our customers enjoyed uninterrupted water supply during the most challenging of times.
Belize Water Services, delivering water and more.
Smart continues to expand its internet coverage countrywide to help you live a smarter life.
Our villagers are very happy. They are pleased to know that Smart went the extra mile to put a tower in our village so that our villagers can get live stream on their TVs and they can get their kids doing their online classes. I want to say to Smart, thank you for making it possible for us to get internet in Gardena Village. We really do appreciate it.
Smart continues to take the internet and mobile services to communities across Belize. Now save even more when you bundle your Smart broadband with Smart mobile services. Smart, bringing people together.
Despite COVID-19 and despite some rainy weather, on Friday, the official ceremony to celebrate the 223rd anniversary of the Battle of St. George's Caye was held at the House of Culture in Belize City. Due to the pandemic, the gathering was smaller, and the ceremony was broadcast live on Channel 5.
With the arrival of Governor General Froilan Salam, the ceremony under this year's theme, Belize at 40, Hopeful Hearts, Steady Hands, Together We Rise, officially began. It was a celebration of our history.
Belize is one of the best living examples that can relate to the phrase, history repeat itself. 224 years ago, 14 brave men from Flowers Bank journeyed to Belize Town, which is today our vibrant city, and tipped the scale of decision-making in favor of courageously defending our territory from a Spanish attack versus surrendering and evacuating. A year later, freed slaves joined the Baymen and skillfully brandish unsophisticated weapons and clever strategies to outmaneuver the ravenous invaders, successfully defending our territory from an existential threat, essentially safeguarding our destiny from someone else's control. Today we celebrate that monumental victory that has woven a fabric of pride, resilience, and heroic determination in our collective, gritty DNA.
The event was muted due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which has claimed the lives of 365 persons in Belize.
Our battle today is, yes, a battle against COVID, but it is also a battle against poverty, a battle against crime, a battle against inequality and injustice. We must have a sense of purpose and a sense of urgency in fighting these battles. These are challenging times, but we Belizeans are a proud, resilient, and hopeful people.
Minister of Culture Francis Fonseca, who chairs the National Celebrations Commission, in his address said that while the activities have been scaled down, there are new features that have been established.
We are planting 40 trees in each municipality, providing 40 grants for innovative art and culture projects, engaging our artistic communities in each of our 9 municipalities to create beautiful, inspiring art murals, establishing the Belize at 40 prizes for culture and creative excellence, the Andy Palacio Prize for original Belizean music, the Leela Vernon Prize for creative community action, the George Gabb Prize for visual arts and design, the Don Eligio Panti Prize for protecting and developing indigenous knowledge, the Z. Edgell Prize for the literary arts, the Rosita Baltazar Prize for dance, and the Beverly Smith Lopez Prize for drama and theater. We are also having 4 musical concerts in 4 municipalities across our country. A creative Youth Ideas Summit in partnership with the National Student Union of Belize, and a panel discussion hosted by the University of Belize on the state of our nation at 40. We each have a role to play in the growth and development of our beloved Belize. With hopeful hearts and steady hands, together we will rise. Happy 10th day of September 2021.
This now Belize is straight, make we inform everybody.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Across the country, in 9 municipalities, murals celebrating the 40th independence of Belize have been commissioned. Today, the twin towns of San Ignacio and Santa Elena officially premiered their work of art. Local artists from the West were tapped for the job, and the mural now serves as a unique and culturally diverse welcome sign at the entrance of San Ignacio. It is being described as a culture and history masterpiece.
Got together with the artists, where the September Celebration Committee came and gave some ideas. The artists penned it on paper, and from there it went from one scribble to this beautiful mural that we have today. We wanted to keep it local. We had Mr. Landero, and he was very excited from the beginning, and then we have Mr. Humes, and both were very happy, and they were like, yes, they want to be a part of this because it's something that embraces and something that shows our culture and our history in one masterpiece. It's not as big as many, but it's something that is compacted and it shows a lot of history and where we came from and to where we are today.
Well, I didn't get inspired just myself, you know. I was not Mr. Matthew, the mayor, and the other colleagues, you know. So, and Mr. Humes, you know, so, yeah, well, they give me the concept and we just go what they say and we just try to find ideas.
People like it and they're excited. I know they want to know when you finish and how you look, and today's the day that we could show it that it's done, and I think everybody like it, so we're good.
It depicts the history over the past 40 years into the development of this community and the country by extension.
The Ministry of Finance has announced that on Tuesday, the pump price of two fuel products will change. The prices of regular gasoline will increase by 26 cents to $11.38 per gallon. Diesel will increase by 6 cents, rising to $10.68 per gallon. The prices for premium gasoline and kerosene will remain unchanged. According to the ministry, these hikes reflect changes in the international petroleum market and fluctuations in the acquisition prices. At a handing over ceremony this morning, the Ministry of Rural Transformation received a truck and water bowser from the United Nations Development Program and National Climate Change Office. The equipment will support the ministry's efforts to provide continuous water to drought-affected communities or when rudimentary water systems fail. According to a release from the Ministry of Rural Transformation, they spend $100,000 annually to purchase and deliver water to rural communities, so the donation should significantly reduce government's costs and improve delivery efficiency. The double-axle truck and 35,000-liter bowser were supplied by Belize Diesel and Equipment Limited at a cost of $178,000. Belize is one of 5 CARIFORUM countries that will participate in a survey on climate change being launched by a number of agencies in collaboration with the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center. While predictions are that Caribbean countries are expected to face more adverse weather events, many citizens have not connected extreme weather events to climate change. The findings from Belize's knowledge, attitudes, and practices on climate change will be used to develop a national climate change public education and outreach strategy. A National Red Cross team will call or visit randomly selected households, in all instances strictly observing national COVID-19 safety protocols, to administer the survey. The survey began on September 1st and concludes in October. You may have missed it over the holiday weekend, but the 10th of September was also World Suicide Prevention Day. A joint release from the National Commission for Families and Children and the Special Envoy says they join the global observance of the day, which is designed to raise awareness and provide worldwide commitment to preventing suicide. In Belize, the statistics from 2020 show there were 32 suicides in Belize, 23 males and 9 females. But of those who attempted suicides, the women outnumbered the men, with 50 women and 46 men trying to kill themselves. This morning on Channel 5's Open Your Eyes, Leon Leslie, a clinical psychologist, addresses the issue of suicide prevention in Belize. Among the questions posed by the host was in regard to last week's announcement by the Commissioner of Belize that almost 20 officers were being monitored or on suicide watch. Leslie says the police officers and those in other high-stress jobs do need support and counseling.
The police, along with nurses, BDF, so it's not only the police, but what I'm seeing with these people, they work under a high-stress environment. Belize, and we're still lacking in that area, we provide only through the EAP program, Employee Assistance Program, assistance for these officers. If they don't want to come in willingly, they go through the EAP. They work, as I said, you're on the front line. Imagine coming close to someone and you don't even know if that person has COVID. Imagine things running through your head. What if this person has COVID? I catch it, I take it home. So there's a lot that processes in people's mind that we don't see that playing through, because now this is the way you think, and it happens so fast, it's almost like automatic in your head. When these officers discharge a weapon, for example, or even respond to a murder scene, these officers, in my opinion, and I hope we reach that point, should be given counseling for a period of time, given a time off. Hey, take a week or two, let's see exactly that you're not experiencing any trauma. To see a dead body or to be around the smell, it is a lot. To respond to dealing with an intoxicated youth, for example, it is a lot, because you have to maintain your patience, and at some point as a human being your emotions need to be addressed, and a lot of them don't address it. They use coping mechanisms with whatever way they know how to. In Belize, sadly, our coping mechanism is consuming alcohol.
According to the NCFC, suicide has several complete and underlying triggers, which can range from the fallout from arguments, living in poverty, unemployment, feelings of hopelessness, and the pain felt after the loss of a loved one. The NCFC urges all Belizeans to reduce the stigma associated with suicide and promote mental well-being. Just ahead, News 5's Paul Lopez goes aboard a ship that is about to sink. But first, here's a weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
This weather update is brought to you by SMART. Weather update was brought to you by SMART.
Macam Mayan Secret Vapor Gel, good for chest pain, back pain, and joint pain. Maybe good for heart pain too.
Mayan Secret Vapor Gel is a locally produced product that is excellent for deep penetrating relief from muscles, joints, and other body aches. It also offers great relief from cough and cold symptoms.
Patrick! Why? This thing work. Rub up yourself. You need to use it.
Mayan Secret Vapor Gel is available at grocery stores and supermarkets countrywide.
estas tarjetas, por favor, ida y vuelta. 54. Este dinero es falso.
¿Falso? Sí, este billete es falso.
¿Y por qué es falso?
Porque un verdadero billete de $50 tiene una marca de agua en la forma de un jaguar con la marca de agua y electrotipia de denominación y un hilo de seguridad.
Conozca su dinero. Reconozca el billete falso al verlo. No se confíe en solo una de las características de seguridad. Busque la claridad y calidad de la impresión. Las líneas y el color impresos deben ser nítidas y claras. Sienta la calidad del papel y de la impresión levantada. Ponga el billete a la luz y observe. El hilo de seguridad avantanillada debe formar una línea completa cuando se pone a la luz. La marca de agua y la electrotipia de denominación, el Jaguar, es la marca de agua en los billetes de $100 y $50. El gigante dormido es la marca de agua en los billetes de $20, $10, $5 y $2. El registro perfecto. Las partes del diseño impreso en la parte posterior deben caber exactamente dentro de las áreas sin imprimir en el frente del billete para formar el diseño completo. Revise los billetes de $100 para saber si está el holograma del tucán con la impresión sobrepuesta de la flor de vinca per vinca. Inclínelo para ver las imágenes pequeñas del tucán y el numeral 100. Revise los billetes de $50 para saber si está la imagen del pez ángel en color verde plateado. Mira más cerca. Utilice luz ultravioleta para ver los elementos fluorescentes. Utilice una lupa para ver las letras más pequeñas que leen Central Bank of Belize y el valor del billete. Detenga la circulación de los billetes beliceños falsos. Pasa todas las falsificaciones a la policía inmediatamente. Es una ofensa criminal guardar o utilizar falsificaciones. Esté a salvo, esté seguro, conozca su dinero.
The hurricane season is here. Are you prepared? Get the essentials you need to stay safe this hurricane season, such as plywood, tarp, and rope, first aid kit, rubber boots, raincoats and rain ponchos, generator, portable radio and batteries, flashlight and kerosene lanterns. Weather the storm with these products and more from Benny's. Quality and savings.
Bundle the fastest, most reliable, unlimited broadband in Belize with your prepaid or postpaid mobile plan or Netflix. You can bundle your broadband with your prepaid and enjoy 50% off all national calls, plus get SMS and data. Paid plans? Then bundle with any speed and pay only $25 extra monthly to enjoy unlimited smart-to-smart calls, plus 500 minutes, plus 6,300 megabytes of data. Stream unlimited HD movies and TV shows with our broadband, plus the Netflix add-on for only $30 monthly, and enjoy streaming on your laptop, TV, phone, or tablet. Visit a smart showroom near you to sign up or upgrade to the bundle that's right for you. Smart, bringing people together.
At Belize Diagnostic Center, we offer FDA-approved PCR testing for COVID-19. Get your results as quickly as 1 hour. Don't risk getting exposed to COVID-19 by going elsewhere. We take appointments, or we can come to your home or office using our concierge service with no additional fees. We have 10 locations countrywide. Call or WhatsApp us at 613-TEST. That is 613-8378 to schedule your test today.
A couple of of weeks ago, we told you about a sugar ship that is soon to become a world-class dive site at the Turneffe Atoll. Today, the Ministry of Blue Economy, in collaboration with the Turneffe Atoll Sustainable Association, gave reporters a first-hand experience on the ship to see how it is being prepared for its underwater descent. News 5's Paul Lopez explored several of the 16 chambers and ended the adventure with a splash.
The Wit has gone through a process of decommissioning. Her service role will transition a third time from a World War veteran to an economic lifeline in the sugar industry. And now she will serve as a diver's intrigue for our great blues near our Turneffe atolls.
We are probably a week and a half away from sinking, at least the planned date. It's all weather dependent, and so that's why we thought it would be good to get the media to see the ship in live, because in presentation it's much less, you can't tell the depth and the size of the project and what we were thinking.
Once we arrived, we climbed onto the deck of the ship using a 12-rung rope ladder. Once we made it to the top, we began descending 3 flights below the stern of the ship. We were accompanied by the caretaker of this ship, who 20 years ago worked the wet concrete in the sugar industry. Arguably, no one knows the ship from bow to stern quite like Stephen Sharp.
Punishment has got me a fuckman, right? Because
a fuckman.
Yes, I think of people who want to I do over there, right? And if certain people want to do a certain job, they tell me I go do the job because I can read. All I have time punish you. Anyway, you go punish me, I got everywhere punish me already. I can I don't punish ship and wait on the board ship one.
We then climbed back onto the deck. The wet concrete had to meet several requirements before it can be sunk under the Turneffe Atoll Reserve. Barrels of oils were shipped off. Asphalt was removed from the deck. Other works included several demolition to make it a safe location for diving without any impediments.
The next move from here is the towing, and so basically we'll get two barges of about 3,400 horsepower from Big Creek that will tow this to its destination and put it in position to be able to be sunk.
A little stretch and a breather after the first climb, and then we made it on to the engine room, another 3 flights down. Once the operating center of this concrete monstrosity, now stripped of its engineering glory to meet its final resting place under the ocean's bottom.
It will be certainly the largest concrete ship that is being sunk in the Caribbean. There is no other project that we know of that is being prepared at this point in time. And so we will go to the DEMA Dive Show in November. And this will be a premier product in the Caribbean and in this region. Definitely, if not the largest, it will be amongst the top 3 in the Caribbean in terms of dive destination.
Completing the entire dive could take somewhere up to 5 days. The total cost of the project, including the donation of the ship, amounts to $3 million. It's not an inexpensive venture, and neither will it be cheap to book a ticket for one of these dives.
In the Turneffe Atoll Marine Reserve products, we are looking at high-end, low-impact tours, and so it will be high-priced.
I decided taking the ladder down would be a disservice to the enormity of this concrete ship and its lengthy service to the nation. So, to pay homage, days before it becomes a world-class dive site, this brave seafarer would walk the plank or jump the ship. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Up next, remembering a September 11th victim and the Belizean flag that survived the terrorist attack. Stay with us.
Estrés, no más filas largas, no más confusión, no más tardanza ni formularios complicados. Todo esto gracias a que nuestro Departamento de Servicios de Impuestos de Belice se está digitalizando. El lanzamiento de IRIS Belize aportará facilidad y eficiencia a nuestra gestión de impuestos. IRIS Belize contará con un portal en línea de fácil uso que le permitirá presentar sus declaraciones y realizar los pagos en línea, ver el historial completo de su cuenta, acceder al servicio de atención al cliente, darle seguimiento a sus reembolsos y mucho más. IRIS Belize, Sistema de Información de Ingreso Integrado, muy pronto.
St. John's Credit Union.
Have you ever fallen delinquent on your loan payment? Don't know how to get back on track? Bounce back with St. John's Credit Union. Get 10 to 50% off interest and fee when you pay your arrears in full or make suitable payment arrangements on your account. Members who take advantage of this offer get a chance to enter a raffle to win fabulous prizes. Members are advised that this offer ends September 30th. Some conditions apply.
St. John's Credit Union Limited. Safe saving, smart borrowing.
This can be you. Get vaccinated. The life you save can be yours. This is a message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Belize at 40. Hopeful hearts, steady hands, together we rise. The entire SMART family wishes all Belizeans a safe and happy September celebrations. SMART, bringing people together.
This past weekend was filled with images and interviews marking the 20th anniversary of 9/11 terrorist attacks and heroic efforts in the aftermath. What some of our younger viewers may not know, especially those born after that fateful year of 2001, is that a Belizean was killed that day. Alva Jeffries was working at the Twin Towers in New York City on the 96th floor of the first tower. But she never made it home. Tonight, News 5 looks back at a story from 2002 where Jeffries was remembered and the Belizean flag from the World Trade Center was brought back to Belize. Janelle Chanona filed this report.
Today, around the world, the first anniversary of the horrific events of September 11, 2001 is being commemorated with reflections on the thousands senselessly lost, the emotional recovery of the families left shattered, and the endurance of the human spirit.
Robert Adrian Halbert.
Ernest James. And when the names of the dead were read at a ceremony held in New York this morning, one name might have sounded familiar.
Alva Cynthia Jeffries Sanchez.
Belizean Alva Jeffries Sanchez was working on the 96th floor of Tower 1 that life-changing morning. Today, at a service held by the United States Embassy in Belize, Jeffries and the rest of the victims were remembered by U.S. Ambassador to Belize, Russell Freeman.
Although the United States was a direct target last September 11th of perhaps the most heinous act of terrorism ever committed, many other nations suffered as well. Citizens from more than 90 countries, including Belize, were killed during the attacks on the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and in Pennsylvania. I believe that one of the most important lessons we have learned from the terrorist attacks of September 11th is not a lesson of fear or hatred, but rather one of how we can unite as free nations to stand against a threat to our freedom.
Cleanup of the rubble continued for almost a year, but days after the attack, the Belize mission in New York City received a call from the New York State Police Department asking representatives to pick up an item belonging to Belize.
When we sent our people down there, we found this Belizean flag there. It was all tattered and torn because it was found in the rubble of World Trade Center Tower number 1. You know, it was quite an emotional moment when we brought it into the office because we had people in our own mission who had relatives who had died down there at the World Trade Center. So in and of itself, people started to reflect upon the flag being representative of the spirit of the Belizean people because as you have seen, it is intact. It has holes in it. It is dirty, and if you could smell it, it reeks of the ash and the dust of Ground Zero. But it is pretty much intact as far as flags go.
From Ground Zero to the ground floor of the Museum of Belize, at the request of the Prime Minister, the flag was brought home as a physical reminder of the tragic events.
Normally, whenever a flag is tattered or torn, culture and history dictates that you burn a flag, you destroy it. Not burn it in protest, but a flag should be intact. This one had special significance to us, as I said before, because it represents to some people what is an enduring spirit.
Reporting for News 5, I am Janelle Chanona.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.